So be careful not to leave it too long, because then you're gonna end up with something more like feta cheese than Greek yogurt. Hey everyone, it's Elizabeth from the blog Little Home and Harvest, and today I'm going to be sharing with you how I make my own homemade Greek yogurt in the Instant Pot using raw milk. So this is a really easy recipe that I've been making since me and my family recently switched over to buying our milk from a local farmer. And so now we get our milk raw, and we get it just like this in a big jar, and we keep it in the fridge. And so when we have this much milk on hand, I want to use it as much as possible. I like to make my own yogurt and keep it raw, because when you do that, you're keeping a ton of the probiotics that aren't normally in pasteurized and homogenized yogurt or milk. Just keeping it raw gives us tons of extra probiotics. So I keep it as raw as possible, and I'm going to show you just how I do that using the Instant Pot. So you're going to need half a gallon of whole milk. You're going to need 1 package of gelatin, which you can buy this at pretty much any grocery store. I just picked mine up at Target. This is the unflavored one, so make sure you don't have a flavor in it. Don't get a package of Jell-O, basically. Make sure you just get plain unflavored gelatin. And then you're also going to want either a cup or a tub of store-bought organic Greek yogurt. And you're gonna want it to be plain, and it needs to say contains live and active cultures. Because if you're familiar with something like sourdough or something that you use a starter for, this is basically the same thing. You wanna make sure that you have a yogurt that's gonna work as your starter. So we just add like a scant quarter cup of it, and then we're gonna put it in our huge batch of yogurt, and all those probiotics are gonna multiply and grow and kind of incubate in our Instant Pot. So the first thing we're going to do is turn on our Instant Pot, and all we do for this is push our yogurt button twice, and actually 3 times in my case, usually it's twice, and it's gonna start saying boil. And first I'm gonna shake my milk to distribute the layer of cream, because you'll see like a layer of cream in raw milk. So shake it up to make it whole milk yogurt. So good. So I'm just gonna add about 2 cups directly into my Instant Pot. Okay, so now I can tell my milk is heating up. I can see the steam from it. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my packet of gelatin, wherever it went, and I'm just gonna open this up, and we're gonna start whisking this into our milk. Okay, so now that whole package is in here, and I'm just gonna keep whisking away until I know that all of it has dissolved. If you don't dissolve it at this point, you're gonna have pretty clumpy yogurt with like chunks of gelatin, and it's not gonna be a smooth consistency, so make sure that you go ahead and make sure everything's dissolved really well. I'm gonna go ahead and hit cancel on my Instant Pot here. Now we're gonna push the yogurt button 2 times until it says 24 hours. I set mine for between 20 hours and 24 hours, but you can do it for as little as like 8 to 10 hours. I do mine for that long because I want the maximum health benefits of the probiotics, and the longer you leave that to grow and ferment, the more probiotics you're gonna have. So now my milk is just slightly cooling down, and what we're gonna do now is go ahead and whisk in the rest of our half gallon of milk. We still have this much milk that's completely raw, and it's gonna cool that temperature down really quickly. So if you're using regular store-bought whole milk, go ahead and leave that gelatin out, because at this point your milk would start thickening on its own just by adding the cultured yogurt. But if you're using raw milk, you're going to want to make sure you add in that gelatin in order to get that thicker consistency of milk. Now we're going to go ahead and take a quarter cup of our active cultured plain Greek yogurt, and we're going to add that directly in here with the milk. Alright, be careful because that just totally splashed me in the face doing that. So before we go ahead and seal this up in the Instant Pot, what we're going to want to do is actually remove the seal in our lid. The reason I do this is because the seal usually tends to absorb a lot of smell and scent from whatever you've been cooking in it. So like me, I've cooked bone broth in this Instant Pot, and if you've cooked like pot roast in it, I mean, you're not going to want pot roast yogurt, so you're going to want to take that out because it's pretty smelly. Now you're gonna wanna put this little back piece back here to sealing. We're gonna let this go and I'll show you what it looks like after it's done the full ferment. And if you have any questions, do not hesitate to leave them down in the comment section. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. All right, so now our yogurt has fermented for the full amount of time, the full like 20-24 hours. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take our bowl and put our strainer in it, and then our cheesecloth that I've washed with soap and kind of wringed out so there's nothing left in it. And I'm just gonna lay that in the bowl, and then we're gonna strain our yogurt through. So right now we just have regular yogurt, so we're gonna go ahead and strain that, and once all that waste starts to drip out, that is when it becomes Greek yogurt. So now all we have to do is store this yogurt in the fridge for about 3 hours. The longer you leave it in the fridge straining, the thicker your yogurt's gonna be. So be careful not to leave it too long, because then you're gonna end up with something more like feta cheese than Greek yogurt.